Today, from Ford Field in Detroit, it's Week 4 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions taking on Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cleveland Browns and the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for the Browns here, they've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's getting people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
The Oklahoma product, Baker Mayfield, trotting out there now with the rest of this Browns offense.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some, they threw it accurately. 1 touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
He's got a first down and more past the 30 and all the way up to the 33-yard line. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. They run. Chubb. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, that he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A check on the numbers for Chubb from a week ago. 1 rushing touchdown, yes, but look at the rushing yards. He was up near 200.
The one phrase I'd use to describe that performance, he carved up that defense.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. On the ground, it's Chubb. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Now Chubb on first down, able to work his way forward for about 5.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Now Chubb. And a pretty good run as he'll get this down close to a first at the Lions' 29. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Chubb. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
On 2nd and 9, Mayfield. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And that is caught. Boy, how about that one? He reeled it in one-handed for a touchdown. So a one-handed catch from OBJ in the end zone. Not really surprised anymore, I guess. This is becoming routine.
Yeah, isn't that something? And we have to be careful ourselves, right, about treating it as only routine, because it's still spectacular to go up one hand, possess the football, whether there's contact or not, to come down and create that play. That's absolutely phenomenal. And one way it happens, these guys work at it. They practice these types of catches all the time.
And he practices it all the time. You see his pregame routine. We were down there today. It's unbelievable.
It absolutely is. And now the stigma of looking like you're showing off is really gone. Now it's actually part of the game.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Detroit gearing up for their opening drive here, led by Matthew Stafford, the veteran former #1 pick back in 2009.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
And they didn't wait long to take a shot there, that's for sure, but it falls incomplete, and it's 2nd down.
A deep ball down that right sideline, and he made sure that he put it where either his guy was going to catch it or no one was.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford. They'll try and set up the screen to Swift. And he's going to lose yardage here, back to his own 18. It's a 6-yard loss on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. And that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Grant Delpit. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
Let's go! Let's go! Well, you can just see this one coming, couldn't you? It's an obvious passing situation, 3rd and long. The defense is going to bring in 2 more defensive backs and say, you want to throw? Go ahead. We dare you. And it's just no one open anywhere as they come away with the interception.
Mayfield on 1st down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
They'll get only 3 there, so it leaves them with a 3rd and 7 ahead. In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up On a 3rd and 7. From the gun, Mayfield. And it's complete. Hooper. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That's a 3rd down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play.
It's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
Pick it up.
They'll give it to Chubb. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. They've got to be thrilled on the road right now. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown, and quickly trying to make it 14-0.
Yeah, and mentioned it already. On the road, to be able to go into someone else's house and establish a start like that, obviously your confidence rises in a big way, and you're putting some doubt in their minds.
And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And this will come out to the 25 as Jones elects for the touchback. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
Throwing deep for Galladay. It's caught inside the 25. And he takes this way down deep into Cleveland territory. It's a big play there for the Lions. 56 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. From the gun, here's Stafford. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Intended receiver there was Quintez Cephas, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down.
That was not a real confident throw right there, and he's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big 3rd down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
14. Lions nothing. Matt Prater on for the field goal. A 26-yard attempt.
And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Now Nick Chubb of the Browns gets set for their next possession. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach or offensive coordinator actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. And I think we'll see plenty of that as this season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Come on, baby. We got to do our job. We got to do our job, man.
So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
They run again on 1st down, Chubb. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
38-yard line.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And that is incomplete. The Pro Bowler Odell Beckham, the intended receiver. 3rd down here. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
The carry, it's Chubb. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4.
He was brought down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. And he fends him off. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. Jared Davis. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. Another try after the first down sack. Mayfield. And he's got it. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle there. Now it's 3rd and goal. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. What a stand so far defensively, and now that's going to bring up a 4th and goal.
Let's go, let's go.
Well, let's see what they do. They're knocking on the door here in the 2nd quarter.
And you know what you look at on your play sheet? Your 2-point conversion plays. Because you've drawn up a number of them in today's football. You don't just have 1 or 2 for the game. You have more like 6 or 7. Which one do you like here? Because that's essentially what you're going for right now. That spot of the field, call one of those and go get 6.
They'll try the field goal now with Graham Gano. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And Gano's kick is right through. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. It's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
This will make it into the end zone. And this will come out to the 25 as Jones elects for the touchback. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Back to the air. Stafford on 2nd down. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
On 3rd down, Johnson. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down. Throwing deep for Galladay. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. Kenny Galladay, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Love the idea, love the concept, but you got to leave a little room on the sideline so he can fade into it when he makes the catch. That was thrown too close to it for the receiver to make a play.
And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the 1st half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
And he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. He's in his zone, second quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard gain.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard? And got his man complete. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland. 58 yards. Sometimes the one-handed catches are unnecessary, but he was trying to ward off the defender with the other, so maybe that was just a good play.
So that tells you that not only do they imagine those types of catches, they actually work on them with defenders jostling them in order to keep their concentration and haul it in.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
On 2nd down, Mayfield again. He'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Complete to Nick Chubb. 5
That
yards.
might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get it out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. His throw caught at about the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb in the final seconds of the first half. And the Browns add on to their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. And they're able to up the lead by 1 more. A 4-play drive spanning 80 yards. And it's capped off by the Browns touchdown. So not much time to work with here. 9 seconds remain in the half as this one is away. And this carries into the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. A final shot before the break. Stafford. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October. We'll begin up at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. And it's the Ravens out in front as that game moves towards halftime. Lamar Jackson with 3 touchdown passes. Next, we take a trip down the coast to Miami to check on the Dolphins at home at Hard Rock Stadium. And they've got the lead in that one over the visiting Atlanta Falcons. Preston Williams, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. Lastly, let's head to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. See what's happening with the Bengals. And they trail the visiting Bills in that ball game at halftime. The Bills trying to gut this one out as it would be a good victory for them if they could get it. In the game you're watching, it's been Baker Mayfield with a strong first half. His guys have a 3-touchdown lead as we're about ready to go into the second half. And to get you through it, we give it back to Brandon Gaud.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It'll be Lions football to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. This will make it into the end zone, and this will come out to the 25 as Jones elects for the touchback. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. And they start the second half with Johnson. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Stafford. Throwing deep for Galladay. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, you got to think that sooner or later they're going to hit one of those, but the coverage has been excellent thus far, and it was again on the last play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. And that will be incomplete.
The scoreboard tells a story for him, a little bit bleak, and while it's not quite desperation time yet, it's definitely getting close, but the defense reads the scoreboard as well. They're going to back up and make them really earn it.
Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So here are the Browns to take over. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10, right at the 30. He'll start things off with a handoff to Chubb. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to...
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
As we check the next-gen stats, you'll see he had precious little time to do anything with the football there. Mayfield and this Browns offense staring at a 3rd and long now after the sack. Now a deep ball here, hauled in just past the 50. And he is going to have a Browns 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A big one there on 3rd down. They hit for 30 yards.
They came out with an aggressive mindset to start the 3rd quarter, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them take more of these type of deep shots as this game moves along. They connected there. They expect to connect on more before this one's over.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. Mayfield to throw it. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's 3rd down now.
I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. Get a nice lead, you should be able to protect it. But if you get careless with the football, look out.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Now, that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It'll be a 51-yard attempt. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And that will extend their lead even further. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
And this will come out to the 25 as Jones elects for the touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot, because we saw the catch there, right? He made it, but he's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back.
Well, that was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, Stafford. And that is incomplete.
What we've seen so far in this game, they are not going to allow a big shot over the top. You can have whatever you want underneath. They'll give you that, but they're not going to let you beat them deep.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Landry now on the return. A nice return that time of about 14 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now Nick Chubb of the Browns gets set for their next possession. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a 2nd time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that 2nd score here in the 3rd quarter. Mayfield looks to throw. And finding the tight end Hooper. Breaks the tackle, now an alley. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
I'm seeing a lot of guys shaking their heads on defense right now, particularly in the secondary. And when you see that going on, that is never a good sign. But it's understandable. They've been shredded so far.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Handoff comes to Chubb. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And again, it's Chubb. And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Austin Hooper, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Browns are pouring it on.
I know a lot of coaches like to break their season into quarters. And how about the first 4 games for this guy? 3 touchdowns scored, really making his mark in the red zone here in the first month of the season.
Gano now to add the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. 5 plays there on that drive. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will make it into the end zone. And this will come out to the 25 as Jones elects for the touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Operating from the gun. Stafford. That's complete to DeAndre Swift out of the backfield. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds.
Oh, I came to my feet on that one. I thought he was getting close to breaking that one big, but in the end, give some credit to the defense, finding a way to get to him and forcing a 3rd down.
And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a 1st down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Lions go for it on 4th. It's Stafford. Now this is incomplete. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. It doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. A give. This is Chubb. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Odell Beckham, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Browns continue to roll. They seemingly just continue to score at will. And as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win, but one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them. Because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
Extra point try good by Gano, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 24. He'll set up to throw from the gun. And this one taken in by Cephas. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A pickup of 24. And that's where the play began, the 24-yard line.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well where they go and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Now Stafford. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And finally down at the 36-yard line. And I think that's a pretty good illustration of why they try to get the football into his hands out of the backfield. That was something else.
And we talk so much from a defensive perspective about scheming and finding ways to take away the run. That means the offense has to devise different ways to get the ball in the hands of their guy out of the backfield. Find open space, let him run, and big things can happen, and they did right there.
And according to Next Gen Stats, his top speed on that one, better than 20 miles an hour. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 36. From the gun, Stafford. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
Detroit Lions, 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 25.
Again, it's Stafford. He gets this complete to Cephas. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup there.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Angle at the 7-yard line.
To the air again, Stafford. This is caught. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Stafford to the end zone, but it's incomplete. And now following the incomplete pass, we'll get a timeout here for an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. About a half yard from the end zone, 3rd and goal. Stafford looks to throw again. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. They'll try it now with Swift. And not only will he not get in, he's going to lose yardage. They stuff him back at the 4. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the Browns are able to come up with a goal line stand. They'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. They'll try and wind down some clock with Chubb. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. We'll check on his status when we get back. Five yards remain on 2nd down. They run it again with Chubb. He's going to have the first down past the 20 and all the way up to the 31-yard line. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well, incomplete.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. So instead of running, Mayfield's going to throw it here. He'll let it go. He's got a man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 33 yards that time.
No let up in this passing game. They've been a well-oiled machine throughout. And actually saw a few guys on the sidelines at the end of the 3rd quarter doing the old hold up 4 fingers college sign, meaning the 4th quarter is ours. And they certainly weren't kidding.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
The end result was brute force on brute force, but think about everything that's going on if you're playing defensive tackle. You're dealing with at least one blocker across from you, trying to deal with him, shed him, and maybe even a second one before you have to try and make the tackle on the big guy.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
A give to the fullback on the dive. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
Watching that run takes me back to something a famous old coach once said. Any player he wants on his team, he wants him to be agile, mobile, and most definitely hostile.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Browns, that early momentum continues here as they move to 4-0. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.